That's a good teammate in Penguin. Dropping it over to Trippy. You know he can have a much larger influence on the map here.
When I saw the roster, I was like, dude, this feels like Trippy's dream team.
It's a face of Snipe Drone as well.
Never teamed with Snakebite before, so I'm very, very excited. I don't know, just like the way he thinks about Halo is literally like the way I think about Halo, and it's just really efficient. 2 dead, like pull the flag. Like doesn't matter if you die, just pull the flag. I really do think once we get practicing and get going and really figure out how we want to play, I do think we're going to be insanely efficient.
Overkill for Trippy.
I can't wait to start playing.
You don't want to pick bananas when they're green, but it's okay when it's Nemesis at green.
I actually can't wait.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tide the Leader, a podcast dedicated to exploring the past, present, and future of Halo and all the amazing people in it. Joining me alongside every single episode is my duo, Eli the Ninja. Today's guest has been a force in the Halo community for nearly a decade. He's teamed with the best of the best and earned the title of World Champ. When it comes to big games, you can count on him to deliver. Welcome to the show, Joey Big Game Trippy. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing fantastic. Just touched down in San Diego, back home for a few days ago, visiting family, and I'm doing fantastic. Thank you guys for having me on. This is awesome.
Hell yeah, dude. We're excited to have a chat. We've got a lot to talk about, and of course, I'm sure Roster Mania is on everybody's minds, but like we do in every single one of these episodes, we like to aerate and allow the journey and the narrative to really shine. So with that, we start with your origin story. What was some of your earliest gaming memories?
Ooh, earliest gaming memories. Taking it back to when I was like, oh my God, I was like 10, maybe 9, 10 years old. And what really got me into gaming was my neighbors down the street. They were in high school at the time. So I'm like 10, 9 years old. And they were around my sister's age, so like 6, 7 years old. They're like 16, 17. And they're brothers down the street. And they each had an Xbox, original Xbox back in the day. And this was when peak Halo 2 matchmaking was a thing.
Yes, let's go.
So I would go down there, and I still remember this vivid clip. I don't know what map it was, but he had a sniper, and they were looking through like the little cracks, and as soon as they jump up, he'd hit. You'd get a headshot every time someone would jump. I don't know if that was a competitive map, but it's like for whatever reason just ingrained in my brain going over there and watching them. But that's kind of like how it started. That one of them would be playing, they would be playing Halo 2 together, and then when they'd babysit me, I would just be on the other brother's Xbox just playing Halo 1 campaign because they were playing Halo 2 at the time. And then later on, like a year later, one of the brothers after high school, or maybe a year and a half, whatever, he ended up selling that to us for really, really cheap, gave me the controller and gave me all the games. And that's kind of like where it started for me.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is yours now. kind of type.
Yes, it's mine.
I'm assuming the way you explained that, was it your older sister's friends from high school, and that's why they were babysitting you guys? Or
No, these
Like
were
how
just
did-
like neighbors down the street, like just neighbors that we
Oh,
knew
okay.
in the neighborhood. I don't know if they went to the same high school as we did or the same schooling. I'm assuming they did. Yeah, they were just neighbors down the street, brothers, 2 brothers, and they still live there. This family still lives there
Oh,
to
wow.
this day. So, yeah.
You ever go
just-
back and talk to them when you come back in town like you are back in town now?
No, unfortunately not. I probably haven't talked to them in a long time.
You
It's
should
been a
go
long time.
surprise them.
Dude,
you should
I
go
know,
surprise them.
I
man.
know.
Pull up with the big check and the world champ
I
ring
know.
and be like, thank you for your Xbox.
I know. Thank you. Thank you for starting it all for me.
That would be amazing.
How did you end up getting your gamer tag? Was that a nickname that the brothers across the street gave you, or how? And I know you had some changes across the way. What? Tell me that story.
I don't know. I had a few gamer tags before I had Trippy. My first ever gamer tag of all time was Urban Hotshot 111. That was my first ever gamer tag.
That was Xbox generated, right?
No,
Yeah.
I made that one. I swear, I made
Urban
that one myself.
Hotshot.
Yeah, I made it. I don't know why. I literally don't know why.
That sounds sick, though. I like it. I like it.
It was like
Sounds
Urban
sick.
Yeah.
Hotshot. I'm like, whatever. I don't know.
I'm working that into a cast next time.
And then after a couple of years later, I don't know. I just thought about Trippy. I was playing. I remember I was on Call of Duty World at War back when the servers were still on. You could play multiplayer play. This was like 2010, 2011 maybe. And then I made my first iteration of the Trippy gamer tag, which is the TRIPPPEY, what my Twitch and Twitter is. That's kind of that. I made that like years ago. I made that, how long it's been, 15 years ago now. And then I don't know, I kind of liked the name. I didn't really see anybody playing matchmaking or playing any other game online. I never saw anybody with that gamer tag. And I just thought it was, I don't know, I just thought it was cool at the time. I just kind of stuck with it.
Was it because like, are you Joey the Third? Like, I have a friend from high school. He goes by Trip, but it's because he's like Mark the Third or George the Third. Or is it like inspired by like stoner culture? Like, yo, that was trippy, bro.
I swear it's not even that. I literally just thought it was cool. I don't
Just
know.
sounds cool. Yeah,
It sounds
it does
cool.
sound
Like,
sweaty.
trippy. Like it sounded
It was
sweaty,
sweaty.
right?
Yep.
Like I was
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
get good at Halo. I just tried to like pick a sweaty gamer tag, you know, and that's kind of like where it started.
You ultimately restylized it to go from 3 P's with the E to just the word trippy. Like, when and why did you make that decision? Yeah.
So back then I had the capital T and then capital 3 P's and the
Mhm.
E, capital Y. That was the first iteration, and then I made another gamer tag that was like trippy, TRIPPXY, all lowercase. I thought that looked really sweaty. I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to this game, 2022. A buddy of mine who's in Halo, he had the original gamer tag, and he hooked me up with it. He like helped me out.
Yo.
You'd be surprised at how many OG gamer tags are in the Halo community. Like that, just a lot of
Yeah.
Halo kids just have just insane gamer tags that you'd never even know.
That's sick.
And then that's how I got the original. I was like, yeah, like hell yeah, I would love that. It looks cool.
I wanted to jump into some of the other games. Like, what other games besides like Halo and Call of Duty were you into when you were younger?
Ooh, when I was younger, besides COD and Halo, ooh, that's tough. Honestly, one of my favorite games growing up, I still remember getting it for Christmas. Was the original, or not the original, but the first Elden Ring, or not Elden Ring? What am I saying? Elder Scrolls, Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game for me was, I love Bethesda games, and that game for me was so much fun growing up. Game is 2011. That was not too long. Damn, it feels like forever ago now. So yeah, that one for me, and then Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was another big one for me that I played. A lot of just single player, just roaming and just kind of doing what you
Open
want,
world.
leveling up your character. Yeah, open world. Pretty much those games for me. It was very, very, very fun. And Donkey Kong. Shout out Donkey Kong on the Game Boy.
Ooh.
I used to play that all the time growing up too. I had a PSP, I had a Game Boy. So a lot of those games growing up too. Really, really fun.
Are you a side quest kind of guy when you play like story games, or do you stick to the main plot? Like, are you trying to explore every single part of the game, or just what's necessary?
I feel like it's a little bit of both for me. It depends. Like I feel like sometimes if you're doing side quests, you're doing it to get cool armor, you're doing it to get a good gun, or you're doing it to get a nice sword or an enchantment or to get something for side quests. So it honestly depends. I definitely feel like as I've gotten older, probably more of a main quest type of guy. Unless I completely rewipe my brain and play Elden Ring again for the first time. I did literally everything on that game. So much fun.
I feel like there's some metaphors to life about your approaches to side quests. You know what I mean? Like,
hmm
do you go out of your way to learn the grenade lineups for like combat evolved tricks? Like, that's a side quest to be good at Halo. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know. There's
Oh yeah.
some stuff you can get out of that.
Oh for sure. But I mean, yeah, it just depends on the game. It honestly probably just depends on the game for me. On
Fair enough.
whether I put a lot of time into it or just go strictly main.
Well, before we get into more Halo lore with you, I've actually got a clip that I found earlier today. So this was
my god!
I
You guys
found
did
this.
some digging.
This is
Oh
actually
my
the
god.
oldest video on your YouTube channel from 10 years ago. You got over 119 kills in this, by the way,
Yeah,
which is insane.
dude, this game for me was just one of my favorite games ever. I love this game.
I can tell when I'm watching you play because when I told Kills about this, I was like, dude, just pick any like 2 or 3 minute time span. It's all the same. It's just him murdering them
Spawn
over
killing.
and over and
Oh
over.
my god.
Oh,
Wait,
So
you were that
tactical
confident?
suicide?
Yeah,
the
I did it on
what
purpose.
the-
Yeah.
Wait,
Bro,
what did you just
that's
do
like-
right there? Did you throw a
I
claymore
threw
over the?
I threw a C4 over, and then you double tap X or whatever.
A
and
wall
you
bang?
yeah.
Dude, you've literally killed every player in every type of way in this game in 60 seconds. Oh my god, the predict C4 again.
Well, you're using the mini map, right?
Yeah, this game is so OP because you have the VSAT and it shows at the top left of the screen. It just shows every angle of where anyone is. Like you can't. Once you get the kill streak, it's like so easy to get kills.
Which
I'm
Call of
just like-
Duty is this?
Black Ops 2,
Oh my god,
my
dude.
favorite COD ever. I love this COD so much.
Dude, the C4 is diabolical.
This is systematic, man. You're picking them apart. And how old are you in this? You're like 18, maybe something like
when
that.
did I? Yeah, I was Probably younger, 16, 17.
Okay.
Yeah, I was
Oh.
pretty young.
Triple. Was that? No, those two. Okay, I was still.
Oh man, these were fun times, man. I really do miss this game.
This looks like you were killing time before Halo 5 came out
Yeah,
because
exactly.
not too long after this.
Even probably prior to that, because before Halo 5 came out, I was playing H2A, 2v2s, and playing the PGL ladder, playing sweaty matches. God, I miss this game. I can't believe I uploaded. I can't remember. Yeah, this was my first YouTube video I
Just
ever uploaded.
no comms. Like, what are you using
This
to
only
record
gameplay.
this?
I think Elgato, like just one of the
You
original.
had the Elgato.
Elgatos.
Let's go. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's one of the original ones.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure if we watch another 10 minutes of this, it's literally just you just ruining the lives of these
Oh
guys.
my gosh.
These guys probably uninstalled the game after this. I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Oh yeah.
119 kills
Bro.
and 6 deaths, by the
Brother.
way.
Yeah, that was we got a good lobby. We got a really
And
good
he's playing
lobby.
OBJ.
Wait, this teammate of yours, Resifying, also
Yep.
had 115 kills?
What?
4 deaths. I used to play with him a lot back in the day. I used to play with him a lot.
Dude, look at this guy. The other team, 7 and 66. Like, how do you keep playing the game without quitting out? Props to the other team. Like,
Man.
I would have been out of there.
Oh my goodness gracious. That sent me back right there. That was crazy.
Yep.
I haven't seen that in so long.
So the timelines are kind of mixed between Call of Duty and Halo. What was it that ultimately got you to swap over to Halo and drew you into that game?
So I always played Halo. So after I got my Xbox, I originally then got a 360, like a couple years or a year after that maybe. So I was like 12, 13 maybe at the time, and then that's when I really started to get good. I'll never forget, I got my first 50 in Halo 3 in, I think, Team Doubles it was, and then I got it in Slayer, and then I got it in a bunch of other playlists after that, but I was like 13, 14, and that's when I really, really started to get good. And then after that, that's why the Call of Duty that came up. That's when I got into COD a little bit, and then after that, when I was like 15, 16, that's when I got into H2A, started playing online 2v2s. That's when me and Shotzi used to match mode Ninja and just like stream snipe. That's when we got into that
Oh,
a
wow.
lot.
Was that part of making a name for yourself? I mean, if you're
Yeah.
playing with Shotzi, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, oh, it
So
was.
me and Shotzi,
Okay.
that's when I met Falcated. That's when I met Shotzi. I met them in H2A. When I met Shotzi when he was like 13, I used to play Shotzi in Halo 3 back when he was on his brother's account a long time ago.
Wow.
Wait, what was his brother's account?
Wow, Ridley Hayes. He used to play Team Doubles and Team Slayer.
Huh.
And yeah, I used to play him all the time back in the day. He would have been 10, 11. He was really young.
What are the odds that two
Yeah.
world champs like collide paths like that? There's like hundreds and thousands of people that you run into throughout a decade plus of playing Halo, and the fact that you weren't friends with the Shotzi before this, you guys just made your relationship came about because of just matchmaking in
Yeah,
Halo.
playing PGL 2v2s, which is like the game battles of H2A, I guess. And that's kind of like, yeah, exactly. That's how we met. Just being good, and we wanted to play with each other. And
That's
then
crazy.
That's
sick.
literally how that's how it started for us. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I was in the gym shooting hoops and Kobe Bryant showed up, you know, like, oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy. And you
I
guys
know.
would both go on to win rings. Like that's a really cool story.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to look back at it, and look at it that way. It's definitely crazy.
Yeah, speaking of some like early, I guess, run-ins with top players, if you look at your wiki, the first recorded result on your wiki is in Halo 5, May of 2016. You're
I
on a
remember.
team called Catastrophe,
Yep.
and you're teaming with Renegade, Musa, and Brainstorm.
Yep.
Very interesting team. Can you tell me like what led to you teaming with this group of guys?
Prior to that team, I was a Halo 5 GB kid. I played a bunch of GB tournaments. I played a lot of the ladders. And then that's literally where I met Renegade, was the Game Battles ladder. And at the
Wow.
time, we weren't very good friends because we hated each other. We hated losing to each other. We'd always match each other and just like, it's just one of those things, right? And then that's where I met Renegade. And I still will never forget the message. I told Renegade this not too long ago, but he sent me a message and he was like, yo, bro, he's like, I know you don't like me and I don't like you, but he's like, if you and I played together, like we would not lose. That's what he said to me. That's when we ended up playing twos together. We played money twos together. We weren't losing at all. Renegade's literally the reason I started competing. Like he wanted me to go. Like he asked me to join his team, like that catastrophe team. That was all Renegade. That was all him trying to get me to play because I was just an onliner. All I cared about was online. I didn't really care about tournaments that much. But yeah, once Renegade got me to join that team and kind of just like give it a try, that's kind of like what started it for me.
Was he a respected member like of the competitive community at this time, or are you both
No.
kind of on the come up?
We were kind of like on the come up together. Yeah.
Dude, this is there's a blow my the Shotzi and Renegade story is insane. Like fate.
You look at Renegade's wiki, it's also his first entry on his wiki page. So
yeah.
both Trippy and Renegade had their first like recorded official result together.
Yeah.
Damn near 10 years ago, which is crazy.
Yeah, 10 years to the
Before-
day, you guys are duking it out on the main stage for first place. Like that is that's why we love going through the timeline here on Tide the Leader, because there's so many of these like backstories, whether it relates to the old MLG days or just personal anecdotes from players. Like this is like I love talking strats and X's and O's, but this kind of stuff like it blows my mind even more.
Oh yeah, it's a crazy small story that not a lot of people know. So I'm glad I'm here to tell it. It's awesome.
You played in a ton of these online events, it looks like, with a variety of different teammates. You teamed with Nemesis. One of the online
With
teams
Bohm,
was
Tire Iron.
Goofy. Yeah, Goofy, Arcanum,
Oh,
Chaser, Firebird,
Oh,
VTech,
gosh. You're throwing. Yep.
Scariotic, Lil X Saiyan.
Pretty sure we won an online cup with Scariotic.
You did.
Yeah, we were the first ones to do that with him. I remember that. It was me, Tommy,
Yeah.
Scariotic, and Tire Iron, I think it was.
Yep.
Is
With
that the team?
Mashland as your coach,
Yep.
who
Yep.
is still around, just started the Boomer League. So shout out to Mashland. But like, dude, I've spent a lot of time today going through this to like find fun things to talk about. And it's like, this is when you first started teaming with Lucid, was pretty early in your career.
Like you said, his gamer tag was Lil X Saiyan or something. He was like 17. I was 19 years old.
So he wasn't very far along in his path either, and
Oh, I
you
literally
link up with Lucid.
I just turned 19. That's 2016, October 2nd. Or no, I turned
Bro.
18. I was 18. Yeah, I just turned 18.
Dude, these chance encounters of between the three of them would win a world championship. That is that's astonishing to me.
Yeah. And so your first LAN that you end up going to is Millennial Esports.
Vegas, the first-
Vegas.
The first Vegas. We got top 12.
25K prize pool. Yeah. Get top 12 with Saiyan, Tire Iron, and Bohm.
I remember we lost to Threes Up at 1 a.m. in the morning. I remember that. I'll never
That
forget
was
that.
Monster's team. So you
Yep,
lost to Chance
Monster.
Monster on LAN.
It was at 1
That's
a.m. though. That's all I'm going to say.
1
It
a.m.
was 1
and
a.m.
Renegade was on his team as well. Renegade, Monster, Prototype.
Yeah, it was Renegade, Monster, Prototype, and Rami, I think it was. It's the fourth.
Yep.
Bro,
Your memory
yeah.
is solid. Yeah.
I still remember that because I was so mad because we had to wait all day to play, and I'm like, we're playing at 1 a.m. This is crazy. I'm getting yelled at 1 a.m. I'm like, oh my gosh.
But yeah, it seems like, okay, so you and Lucid kind of become great friends around this time. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more later in light of the recent news. But first of all, before we get into more of the stories, like what makes you and Lucid such good teammates? And like, why do you guys keep coming back to each other time and time again?
I don't know. It's every time we get on and every time we've played together, it's like we generally just hate losing and we just hate wasting time. So it's like every time we get on and practice, it's like we're not trying to waste a game. Every single life that we spawn in, we're not trying to waste time or just like, I don't know. We just like go 100%, 150% every time we play with each other, and we expect the best from each other, and we just try to get better every day, and just I think it's just strictly that, just good work ethic, and just trying to just be the best that we can, and just get better every day.
Shared philosophy, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You guys just think about things the same way. Your second LAN wouldn't be until UGC St. Louis 2017, and that was with L-Town, Victory X, and Ninja.
Ninja, we got top 8. I remember we lost a straight ripping.
Okay. Yeah, tell us some stories about that event. What was it like teaming with Ninja?
So after our first AM tournament together on 6S, it was me, Tommy, Tire Iron, and Bohm. After that tournament, I got picked up right away onto LG, and that's like what you said. So it was L-Town, Ninja, Victory X, and then we got top 8, and I love that team. That's when Tyler knew me at that time, Ninja. In the H2A days when I used to stream snipe him, I would always just teabag him, shoot his body. So he knew who I was. I was just that one annoying kid who'd always just stream snipe him.
Dude, you're like every stream sniper's fantasy. Like you
Oh,
went
yeah.
from stream sniping Ninja
Yeah.
to being his teammate.
I did it on H2A too. I did or not H2A. I did it on H1Z1. I used to do it on
Oh,
H1Z1,
shit.
and I killed him on H1Z1 and would shoot his body. I've been banned in
Oh,
his
that's
chat a
awesome.
few times. It was just funny. It was just a good little story that we used to have together.
One of the other things I think is most interesting is like, how did you, bro? It is so hard to break through and just even have a name that's established. And everybody goes through like sometimes even like nefarious means to, get noticed or get into a lobby. Like you just said, screw it, bro. Twitch is, becoming a thing. I'm just gonna snipe his lobby and
Oh yeah,
show him what I got. And it was Ninja of all people, bro. That is
it
man,
was.
crazy.
So that's kind of like what helped me get onto that LG team was that. So they knew I was good. Me and Shotzi used to match mode them all the time, and we would always beat them. So they knew we were good. And that's kind of like what got me into the pro scene. That's kind of like what started it off for me. Was L-Town gave me a chance. Ninja gave me a chance. I didn't really know Victory X like that. Cam at the time, but he was a great teammate. Never complained, and he just was a really, really good teammate. So that's kind of like what started my journey into like the Halo scene. Was that team?
It was probably like the end of Victory's career.
It was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
So maybe he wasn't as locked in, but regardless,
He
that's so
wasn't.
sick that like you got that chance. Yeah, I feel like he's probably thinking ahead at that point. But
Oh yeah.
you end up ending that year, 2017, with a top 6 finish at the 2017 HCS Pro League Finals. That was with Lucid, APG, and Rain.
Oh, that now I remember. Yes.
So you're steadily working up. But then in 2018, you build your best roster yet with Lucid, Boo Boo Dubu, and Pistola. And that team started getting top 4, top 3. You guys even finished 3rd at the World Championship that year. To you, what do you think was like the big difference to like have that leap in placements and like starting to feel actual success?
I think for us it was just kind of like climbing the ladder in a way, of just getting better teammates and just learning as you go. That was a big part for me and Tommy, and I feel like that it's all started with that Rain, APG, me and Tommy's team, where we could have got top 4. I remember the event. We lost game 5 by like 3 kills against Envy at the last tournament of, I forgot what tournament it was, but that was like when I knew, I was like, damn, like we're actually pretty good. Like we almost beat Envy.
Luminosity Gaming went up 2-1. With Team Envious's backs against the wall, they would rally back 3-2 to close out the series.
Envy sends LG packing. Wow, and what a series, Tom. Envy wins Game 5 50-48.
We lost by 3 kills. And then in that offseason, that's kind of like where we got the luxury of being able to team with Ola and team with Boo Boo, people that have been there, people that have done that. And just kind of like learning from them and same things, rinse and repeat. Like you're playing with better players and you're just trying to get better. And that's exactly what it was. Like literally all that season, that's how it was. We were really, really consistent. So
Yeah, you were grinding, and I feel like it just kind of culminated or started to culminate here. Later in 2018, at the end of the Halo 5 era, you finished 2nd in the HCS finals with Snipe Down
That's
in
right.
place of Boo Boo.
it was our first finals together.
First grand finals.
Even though we got slammed, we got 8-0'd.
Eight-0'd?
So yeah, we got 8-0'd. Wait, did we? I think we got 8-0'd.
So you must have won the winners bracket, and they came from lower side, I guess.
We beat them game 7 in winners finals. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we beat them winners finals, and then Splice was coming up through losers, and then Tox just beat them, and they 3-0'd them. I'm pretty sure they 3-0'd Splice, and they just came in and 8-0'd us. So they had a great day.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was our first grand finals together. Obviously not what we wanted, but kind of to end Halo 5 on that note that's pretty good. It's bittersweet for me and Tommy for the whole trajectory of what Halo 5 was for us.
Yeah, speaking of the end of the Halo 5 era, you guys wouldn't capture a LAN. So it almost felt like it's like we just ran out of time, coach, right? 4th quarter, 0-0 on the clock. But if there was more time, you probably would have won one. Did you feel like that served as a motivator for you to keep pushing? Because I imagine your mindset is, I'm just happy to be here. Now I'm expecting top 8. Now I'm looking to get into the top 3, and now I'm looking to win.
Oh no, for sure. I think honestly, all of that 2018 season with Boo Boo, Ola, and then going into picking up Eric, it's like that's kind of how it felt for us. Even at Worlds 2018, like we lost Game 7 to Tox. It's like all these nail biter, barely losing games or series where it's just like, oh my god, if we clutch this up, like who knows what happens, right? We've had many of those in our career, and it's like, yeah, that's like that season in particular. It's like, yeah, like we're right there, like we're so close, and from then on, like we were just so hungry. We were so hungry to like try to get better and just try to win.
Well, you would have to wait to get your run back in Halo 5, but a new era
Yes.
would be upon you we entered the Halo 3 throwback era, which in my opinion was kind of a weird time. You know, it's like
So weird.
Halo 3, but not Halo 3 because it's on MCC.
HCS, but not HCS. You know what I mean?
HCS After Dark. I don't know what it was. It was just weird. It was just weird.
But that's when you first teamed with Penguin. So you must have met Zane at some point between Halo 5 and Halo 3. And you had a team with Penguin, Lucid, and Neptune at UGC St. Louis 2019.
I do remember that. We got top 8.
And then you ended up teaming with Zane quite a lot during the Halo 3 era. Is
Yeah.
this like, were you and him also just kind of quick buddies when you first
Yeah.
started playing together?
So Zane and I met in 2017, and that's when he was on his Liquid, like Penguins, Eco Stellar. They went through a few different fourths, but that's kind of like when he was on that team a lot, and that's where me and Zane met. And then throughout the 2017, throughout 2018, we became really, really good friends. And so yeah, like after Halo 5 ended, that's like we're like, oh, let's make something work. Let's try something. Let's team. And yeah, since then, Zane and I have been best friends ever since. So yeah, that's kind of like how we got that whole team started in the Halo MCC.
That makes sense. And I know how much you loved Halo 3. Obviously, you said that Halo was one of your first games. And it makes sense that when you had the opportunity, when you went back to Halo 3, that you would make a mini Taj, which we
God.
found on your
Oh,
we found this on your YouTube as well. If we can cue that up.
I still remember the song too.
Joey Trippy Taylor. We're going to have to probably edit some of the song out for copyright issues.
I like the old school skate video kind of vibe.
Who edited this?
Riddy Creative, my buddy.
Brother.
It's actually really well edited, like the timing on everything.
Oh.
Halo 3 was my favorite Halo, probably. Halo 3 for me, it was just so many memories, and I loved Halo 3. Like actually.
Were you watching montages like back in the Halo 2 era?
Oh yeah. All the straight ripping montage, status quo, all just anyone who played, just any montage, I watched them all. I used to watch all the you guys know remember when you could buy recap from MLG events like on the Xbox
Yes.
store? I bought all of those. I watched all of those. I used to stay up late night and just watch those. Like I was such a big fan.
Wait, was
I
that
was,
a
like,
triple
really, really
on
young.
Boo Boo in doubles?
In
I think?
fourth or in twos,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it was. Yeah.
That was sick. Yeah, it feels like you've always had, like, just from looking through your YouTube, I was kind of stalking you a little bit in preparation for the episode. I was like, yo, this
Eddie-
guy
Oh
yeah, that
my
was a
gosh.
disgusting shot. But it feels like you've always kind of understood like the content side of things. Like you gotta put yourself out there. It felt like you
yeah.
were trying for a while to make a YouTube following and like be consistent with it, even into Halo Infinite. So can you speak on that
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit? Like what motivates you to grind content as well?
Yeah, it's just I mean, pretty much after the MCC era or MCC tournaments ish. You know, that kind of like when Halo Infinite got delayed. You know, that for a year or whatever. That's really what pushed it for me. We already had a team solidified pretty much for Infinite, but it's just more so like this is a great time to kind of like stream a lot consistently and just kind of put content out YouTube and whatnot, and kind of build a following, kind of build like a community. So it was I think I was like what 2021. That's like 4 or 5 years ago now. That's when it really really built up for me. And playing a lot of MCC, playing a lot of 2v2 tournaments, just playing anything that I can and just streaming and just putting any content out that I can. I know a lot of my early content was like Money 2s, like Halo 3. I have a lot of those videos on my YouTube. So when it works perfectly, because you can just stream and then it's really easy. I just had somebody make me a thumbnail and then you just clip it out. It's super, super easy. So
Love it, dude.
I love watching like you and Tylenol play the Halo 3 tournaments, which by the way, are you guys undefeated in 2s tournaments? I feel like you guys
Yeah.
like crush 2s tournaments.
everyone hated that we won the Halo 3 one, and then we came to Halo Infinite, and then we won that one too. Or we won the what was it? The Xbox 2v2 or whatever, the Xbox Fan Fest.
I played in that
Let's go.
with Ceridius on MNK.
So I wish they would do more of those.
Dude, I love the year one, like the Honda 1v1 fan cup.
Oh, they're so sweaty. They're so sweaty. Everyone tries so hard. Like it's different. I love it.
Honestly, in that tournament, I ran into a lot of guys that I didn't know about that I had like early intel and access to, and guys like Hativ is one of them. Like we played against
Oh, yeah.
him in that 2v2 tournament, and we ended up getting top 16. Humble brag. I'm pretty proud of that.
There's a lot of good teams, honestly. There's a lot of people that played.
It was a sweat fest, but yeah, it put me on to a lot of players that I hadn't heard of that are, now you see climbing up the AM ranks. So
Oh yeah.
always fun to get a sneak peek before they start to pop off.
Yeah, I always say it. Like, I think 2v2s are like the S&D of Halo. Kind of like
Yeah.
a lot of people in Call of Duty, they're S&D kids, and they kind of they're really good that way. That's how I kind of think 2v2s are in Halo. It's like if you're good at twos, like you're gonna get seen somehow.
Renegade, no fear in the Sojo. He's going to pop out, but like you said, Dave, trades just aren't
Yeah, they play very different from fours,
Oh, they do. Yeah.
These teams, but
but you have to have such good like fundamental
Yep.
Halo awareness to be good. I feel like
going on sprees.
it's such a good way to build teamwork with somebody as well.
Just teamwork and just winning your pivs. Like, actually.
Out. Stellar with the cleanup right there. There is the cleanup coming in from Trippy. 25-20. That's your final score. 3-0. Restoring balance are going to be your 2v2 champions. Congratulations.
If your teammate dies, you kind of have to like slow down or follow up on their damage. Like you only have two
Yeah.
options. You either run away
Mhm.
because you can't like get the trade, or you like full send for the trade.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's a skill that like can transfer into fours as well, right? Like your team has a numbers advantage. You should be flying in most cases, or if you're
Yeah.
down numbers, you need to chill. So
yeah.
I think it really does a good job of like breaking Halo down at a fundamental level.
I agree. I will always be a fan of 2v2s. That's why I wish they did more tournaments.
Now, we're going to fast forward a little bit through the rest of the throwback era and then the Halo 5 Resurgence era, which was kind of just the Halo Infinite waiting room. But
Oh yeah.
scanning through your wiki, you've teamed with just about everyone. Like, like you were even teaming with like Snakebite, Royal 2, and Frosty for a period of time as well.
Oh yeah, for the throwback Halo 5 tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
But just reading through, it's like, bro, you teamed with everyone. Can you name any top player still around that you haven't teamed with? Like, who have you not teamed with?
Oh god. That I haven't teamed with.
Ryan Noob?
Yeah, I haven't teamed with Ryanoob. Well, even like the new gen kids nowadays.
Well, obviously, New Gen's a little different, I feel like.
New gen's different, but yeah, from Halo 5, like, yeah, I can't even think. I team with a lot of people, even if it's like a
That's what I'm
small, just
saying.
online stuff. Yeah, I've teamed with a lot of people.
I guess you never teamed with Roy and Lunch during those times, did you?
No, yeah, no, never teamed with them.
Was that also instrumental in your development, right? Because I kind of feel like teaming with all of the legends and great players in Halo Infinite, you kind of get to like take like bits and pieces that you can apply to your game and mold to your play
Oh, yeah.
style. You think that's helped?
Oh, for sure. I've been very lucky to have been teamed with a lot of people. Like, Ola was the biggest one for me. I teamed with him for multiple years, like so many years, and just the way he thought about the game, and just seeing the way he plays, like that's definitely helped me. Team with Snipe Down, obviously APG, like Lunchbox, like Formal now. Like it's just a lot of players that have just like helped me. So I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah, I love to see it. Now, this will be our version of like pour one out for Lost Soldiers. Can you shout out 3 teammates that you enjoyed teaming with that just don't compete anymore? Like, because I just looking through the list, I'm like, there's some names on here that I don't even know, and I've been paying attention for a long time. Like Zerka was one of them that I'm like, who is this guy?
Zerko's a Halo 3 kid. Played a lot of Halo 3. I want to shout out Guntype. He's like a 2s kid. I used to play Halo 3 with him all the time. Big Halo 3 nerd. God, who else is out there? I'm trying to think. I feel like a lot of people still play.
Halo kids never quit, man.
They never quit. They really don't.
Like a bunch of cockroaches.
Hold on, let me read through some names that might refresh your memory. Shuda, Tire Iron, L-Town, Commonly.
I do remember. It's so funny. I actually do miss Tire Iron. He was just so funny, and he talked a lot of trash.
Yeah.
Being around him was actually a lot of fun.
Who's the trash talker on your current roster on FaZe?
Oh, God. I don't think anybody. Maybe me?
He said me.
Probably me. I don't think...
Maybe Royal One?
World One's not much of a chirp. I guess he is kind of low-key. Like, low-key.
Penguin, I feel like Penguin will chirp, but not like loud.
He only... Yeah, nah, he doesn't.
He's like baseball from the dugout, like swing bada swing. Like that's Zane.
Yeah, that's true.
It's from the corner. Oh, yeah, it is.
No.
Well, like Arcanum, Goofy.
Ooh, I do miss Arcanum. I do miss him.
I miss Jacob a lot.
Jacob was a great teammate, especially for a lot of us because we were, just teenagers at the time. But this dude was like going to UMass. He's like a fucking genius, super mature. Like we were probably 17, 18, 19, but he might as well have been 40, right? So he was kind of like the
I
dad.
do remember him. I do remember that. I do remember that for him. He was the same way towards me too. That's why I miss him a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was all about discipline. He worked out, and if you weren't on your shit, he'd be like, "Hey, Mikowski, why are you 3 minutes late to play? Do you not like Halo?"
He would like call you out, but he would also like hype you up if you were like popping off too. Like he was a good hype man for everybody as well.
You always need a teammate like that. It's just like, who doesn't love that, right? You get a double, like, nice, Dad, get on. Like
He's always providing gas to the whole squad.
I love those quick one-hitter whips in Halo. Dead's my favorite. Like when we're casting on the couch and we got those, closed headphones on, you're not supposed to be able to hear anything outside of the broadcast, and you hear a Dead through that. It's like, dude, that gets me. I'm juiced up when I hear that.
I heard that. What got me so juiced up last tournament was Royal One. When we played SSG round 1. This was like game 4 towards the end of the Strongholds game. And it was our final pushing C, because we had them trip capped. And it's like, if we get these kills, we win the game. And he knew, I don't know, Chris knew that too. So each kill that we got, it was like so just like, it was like a war. But each kill that he got, it was like, he's like, Dead. Like, and then we got another one. He's like, Dead. And then he just keep getting louder and louder. And hearing that as a player is just like, it's so good. It's like, wow. Like, it just pumps you up and you're just like, it's awesome.
Let's talk about Royal One some more. I mean, it feels like to me, when I saw that he became you guys' coach, I was like, wow, this is actually a huge upgrade for you guys, because he provides so much of that exact what you just described, like just injecting energy into the squad. And like,
oh yeah,
I know Mikey, he is quiet as hell. He's a silent assassin. He's going to kill everybody. But like, you kind of need somebody that like pops off in the mic that's not super quiet. Like, tell us about the value he's brought to the squad.
So prior to him coming on, I honestly didn't really know him at all like that. Considering the year before that, we were rivals, right? We didn't really talk like that too much. So bringing him on board and getting to really know him, especially last tournament, I have nothing but good things to say about Chris. Like, I love Chris. He's just like, he always said it like throughout the weekend. He's like, uncheckable, baby. He's like, I'm uncheckable, baby. He's like, right?
He's just got aura.
He's just never in a bad mood. It doesn't matter what the ref says. It doesn't matter. It could be anything. Like, it doesn't matter what it is. Tech issues, whatever it is. He's just like, he's always tries to keep everyone in check. He's super trying to be like super vibey, get everyone in a good mood.
He almost has like player aura to him. You know what I mean? And that's kind of crazy because you've got guys like Lunchbox and Elamite who are, best of the best in the game. You would expect them to have that player aura because they used to play on the main stage. I don't recall Royal One ever, winning a grand finals or anything like that. He carries himself like a player. Is that something you appreciate about him?
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I said, I think it bleeds into our gameplay as well. And it's like, when he's doing that, like, I know we can all feel it, and it's like we're just bouncing off each other, and that's something that is so important in a LAN environment, and it's definitely something that's noticeable. It's like, I was like, wow, like, because I knew he was a great coach. Like, he's won 18 times. He's one of the winningest coaches now, I think, or the winningest coach. I didn't get any glimpses of that before, but now, like, I have, and it's like, now I understand.
Get it now.
Yeah, now I get it. I'm like, damn, all right, like, I love this. Like, I love Chris. I literally said after the week, I'm like, damn, I love Chris. Like, that was fun.
It's just something about that family, bro. Like, him and his brother Royal 2, obviously, they're just like sarcastic. I don't know. They have this certain type of energy about them that, like, I think makes people around them play better.
Pure passion. Like, I just love it. Like, it really does bleed through, and it's really good to have on a team.
Beautiful sunrise behind us here over Lake Michigan from Chicago's Willis Tower. It's Trippy and Penguin versus Aces Snipe down, but right now...
Technically, your first LAN win was in twos. Fitting, based on the story you've told us so far, and it was with Penguin.
Red Bull Rise till Dawn, July 19th of 2020.
2019.
Was it already that long ago? Oh my goodness gracious.
Wait, you remember the date? That's crazy. Oh, because it was their first LAN win, I guess. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
2v2 with Penguin. This was at a tournament called Red Bull Rise Till Dawn, which confused me. Sponsored by Red Bull.
Sponsored all-nighter.
That's the first all-nighter. It started at 9 p.m. or not literally 9 p.m. Started at night. And it went I think our grand finals was at 4:30 a.m., 5 a.m.
What? That was
we
like
literally won as the sunset was coming up, and then we got a picture there with the sunset. It was really or the
Red Bull
sunrise, yeah.
promoting
Sunrise.
insomnia with their product of energy
It's fitting.
drinks. Like, are you guys
It's fitting.
slamming Red Bulls to like stay awake through the grand finals?
It was
or
the
like,
craziest LAN I'd ever been to because like I remember going up because like there was catering for a bunch of food. And these people that were catering the food, like they were dressed nice and nice chef like outfits, and I'm like, all right, is this for... I literally walked up, I was like, is this for the staff? I'm like, who's this for? And they're like, no, this is for like everyone here. And I was like, oh my god. They had a bar for different Red Bull drinks, which I thought was cool.
like Red Bull mixed drinks?
Yeah, Red Bull mixed drinks. But yeah, like tournament started at 9. There's like 60 teams. There's a lot of teams there. I think Roy Lunch was there.
Yep.
Eco Neighbor was there. Snipe Down Ace.
Yep.
I don't know if maybe Gab Fantasy, they played twos back then. Maybe they were there.
Yeah.
Ubu and Tusk were there. So a lot of teams.
Yeah, you guys beat Snipe Down and Ace in the grand finals.
We 3-0'd them. I know game 3 was Narrows.
You 3-0'd grand finals?
Yeah, game
Wow.
3 was game Narrows. Game 2 was Heretic, and then game 1 was I don't know what game. I forgot what game 1 was though.
Yeah, what was your biggest takeaway from that? Did it feel like your first LAN win, or were you still, this isn't the 4 yet, or
Yeah,
where were
right.
you processing it?
I definitely was happy. I definitely was. I was like, wow, finally winning something, like whatever. Even if it was just a 2v2 LAN, whatever. Yeah, definitely. I would definitely say it boosted a little bit of a confidence. Just kind of like, even if it's just a 2v2, whatever, like, it's like, oh, I can win something, And then now it's just kind of like, gotta just take it to the next stage and take it to the next 4v4, 4v4 realm. So I think in terms of confidence and just overall winning something, I think it was great.
Why does Zane look exactly the same? Has he not aged? Trippy looks
Yeah.
entirely
And
different,
Trippy
bro.
looks entirely different. Yeah,
Did
Oh
you
my
have-
god, that's
did you
when I
have the
was
mohawk?
so skinny. I was my hair was so lame there. What am I
This was
doing?
after your weight loss stuff too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it
This-
was. Yeah, it was.
I saw a picture of you from like 2016 or 17.
I was my biggest ever. Yeah.
Yeah, you were pretty heavy. Talk to us about that journey. Like, when did you get into the health and fitness stuff?
Yeah. So 2016. So pretty much end of high school. So taking it all the way back to like 8th grade.
Mhm.
I gained I literally was 250 pounds in 8th grade, which is ridiculous, right?
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
And then that summer, I lost a bunch of weight. Went into high school, the skinniest I'd ever been, probably. And then throughout high school, gained it all back, unfortunately. And then
Mhm.
after high school, 2016, 2017, I had that weight for a while. I still remember 2017 summer. I think it was Daytona. I think I got back from Daytona and I went back and weighed myself, and I was like 248. I'll never forget it.
Dude, you look
then
good in that
After
picture I just
that,
saw.
Yeah.
thank
You
you.
look good.
After that tournament, so 2017, so going into 2018, 2019, that's kind of like when I was like, all right, I'm taking this seriously. I was so strict. I was eating like 200 grams plus of protein every single day for like 2 years straight. That's how strict I was.
And you were
Oh,
tracking
man.
it in an app?
Yeah, I was tracking
or...
it.
Yep,
I was just
sounds
tracking
like
it. And then my Saturday night would be like a cheat night, whatever, just eating whatever I wanted, even if it was 5,000 calories, I didn't care. But as long as I was getting my protein intake in every day and just eating clean throughout the week, that's kind of like what kept me consistent.
Were you motivated by becoming a better Halo player by this? Did you just want more confidence IRL?
Yeah.
What drove you to lose that weight?
I think it was more so a little bit of both. I think just honestly, I think confidence in myself was definitely the main thing. Like growing up, overweight, is just not something that I wish on anyone.
Yeah, it sticks to you.
It's just like, yeah, it does stick to you. So I think just getting skinnier, it was strictly for me, and I wanted to look good, and I wanted to feel good in my skin. And then which in turn I think definitely does translate. It just that was nasty. I remember that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, the montage
That was
clip.
nasty. That was nasty. Yeah, I just think if you feel good, I always have me and my buddies always joke around this saying, you look like, but it's like if you look good, like you feel
Yeah.
good, and then you play good.
Play
you know?
good. Yep.
And it doesn't matter
Beyond.
what that's in. It could be a sport. It could be just anything in life. And I think that really does resonate with me. And it's like, yeah, just overall, just it's the best thing I ever did. So I'm really, really happy.
Yeah, one last thing about this LAN. You talked about watching the sunrise. This wasn't like from, the city streets of Chicago. If I recall, this was hosted at the Sears Tower on the top floor.
Yep, 98th floor, Sears
Yeah.
Tower.
What?
And crazy views. Literally literally the most insane experience because like out of nowhere, it's Red Bull, right? Like it's not just like any company. Like this is a Red Bull doing this, so it's like it was crazy. It's something I'll never forget. It was honestly incredible.
Did you guys get Red Bull trophies? Or?
Yeah, we did. The big Red Bull. I have it. It's funny. I have it in Dallas. Like I would literally show you guys. But yeah, we had the huge big trophies, and it literally is the Sears Tower. Like it literally shows like it's trying to emulate the Sears Tower, and it says Red Bull on it. Yeah, it's really really cool. It's easily the sickest trophy I've ever seen.
And it was casted by Bravo and Walshy, dude.
Oh yeah.
Fallout, sir.
And again, a major congratulations to Trippy and
Oh my God, this is crazy. This is crazy timeline.
You look so happy, man. You can't even hold it back.
Dude, you're glowing, man.
Dude, this is crazy. All I needed to fix there was my hair. God, what am I doing?
Headphone
No, I
hair.
think
What
the
are you gonna
headphones
do?
messed it up.
Yeah,
You had
low-key.
it was looking a little better before the headphones.
Dude, that's incredible, man. Yeah, you could actually, dude, you could see the time of day in the.
Oh yeah, it's
the
slowly
window
starting to
scape
become
there.
sunlight. Slowly,
It's literally-
the sun's slowly starting to come out.
It's
You
literally.
look like you just
Dark
got
and
off the
not.
beach. You look like you
They
just got
are,
off the
right
beach
there.
surfing, bro.
Oh, and Walshy, dude.
Yeah, Walshy gave us a trophy. Boom.
And Elamite presented it, dude.
Oh yeah.
And that is a sick trophy.
Oh, they're so sick. I love.
What?
So
Do you
cool.
still have that somewhere?
Oh yeah, I still have it. Yeah, it's in my apartment in Dallas right now. Still there.
Man,
Is that
Right, and we got it. Oh my God,
that is T squared.
Bro.
Yeah.
Dude, I gotta ask, like, did this feel better than winning Worlds?
It was pretty fantastic. It was just like with one of my best friends, like we just entered a tournament just for whatever. We thought we were really good at 2v2s, but it's like, yeah, just to win anything at that time, especially
Dude.
at that time in our career, like it felt fantastic.
It was Ace Snipe down in the finals, 3-0'd them. Before that, you guys beat Boo Boo Tusk and Eco Neighbor. I mean, it's not like you had a free bracket at all. Every single matchup's insane.
Oh no, yeah,
Gabriel and Fantasy were there on the lower side.
So sick, man.
what a crazy timeline.
Now we're moving on to Halo Infinite, the modern day. And the initial Optic lineup that found you, Pistola, Lucid, and APG. First of all, how did you guys end up on Optic? I know that's a huge milestone for you in your career. And how confident were you going into Halo Infinite with that squad? What was the expectation?
Pre-Infinite, we got signed with Team Envy, which was me, APG, Ola, and Tommy, Lucid. And we honestly signed even pre them
Merging.
or no,
Yeah.
remember when they delayed the game a year?
Oh, yeah. That's
we
right.
were even signed prior to that.
Wow.
I remember that.
And Envy were really, really nice. They kept us on they obviously decreased the amount, but they just kept us on just to keep us because they were so amazing at that time.
That's crazy.
Yeah, right. Infinite comes around. I think it's literally a month into the game, or maybe a month before the game comes out. That's when we get told that Dallas Empire is mainly for COD, but it's like Dallas Empire was merging with Optic Texas at the time, so that they can just combine to become, or I don't know, maybe they weren't called Optic Texas. I forgot they were called, but that's when they combined and became Optic Texas, and then every single team on MV became Optic too. So it's kind of like one of those things where we kind of just got completely blessed and super, super lucky, and
That's right.
we became Optic. I'm pretty sure the first weekend was the first online cup for Infinite, the one that we beat Cloud9 in or whatever,
Yep.
the first online cup ever. The club that had like 60,000 plus viewers, which is crazy at that time.
Yeah.
512 teams, I think, signed up
Yeah,
as
a
well.
lot of teams that just for an online random tournament had 60,000 plus viewers. So yeah, that was like the first tournament we were Optic.
I remember like one of the true collectibles in Halo Infinite is that early Envy skin. So I imagine you guys were repping that before even Optic got into the game. So and that's a crazy little bit of even like recent history that I almost forgot.
Even when we were Optic, or when we got changed to Optic, we were still, the Optic skin wasn't in the game, so we were just using the Envy skin. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just
Remember
still using
that.
the Envy skin. Yeah.
And now they're back. So
Yep, now they're back.
I think they're talking about relaunching that skin at some point, which
They should.
some people are not happy about because they have like the collector's mentality, like, oh, I have it
Oh,
and
dude.
nobody else does, and whatever.
You have no idea how bad it is. Go main Destiny and see how people feel about rare emblems that become available like by donating or something like that. It's kind of
Oh
crazy.
my
But
gosh, I can see
Yeah.
that.
I'm sure people get really upset. let's talk about this lineup though. So you guys were doing good online. It was like you and Cloud9 were kind of going back and forth. But then the first LAN, you guys get top 6, kind of stumble a little bit.
Oh, that's right. We did. Yeah.
Was that what the event that Formal was subbing in for Sentinels because of the Royal
was,
2
yeah.
router gate? Yeah.
It's so tragic because we, the first day, round 1, I think it was round 1 we played them, and we 3-0'd them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get through, we get to winter semis, and then we lose to C9?
I think
Pretty sure-
so.
I feel like we lost to C9. I don't know who else we would have lost to that tournament.
Yeah.
And then we lost to C9. Yeah, we get knocked down, and then we matched up with them again in losers, and then we lost game 5. It was unfortunate. Then we got top 6. Almost strafes at me front sub, 4s me. They're up 7. I remember all that.
Yeah, I remember he went crazy. I think he dropped like 20 in game 5 on streets.
Yeah, he did.
So not the best showing at the opener, but then you guys come back. You get second in Anaheim, which still wasn't where you guys wanted to be. And then at that time, your squad made a decision that still reverberates through the Halo universe to this day when you guys decided to drop Pistola and pick up Formal. This was like the resurgence of Formal and the very last time we ever saw Pistola.
Yeah.
First of all, I mean, you just got done talking about how much it meant to you to team with Pistola. How hard was it to make this team change for you?
Insanely hard. I think at that time, not only was one of my favorite teammates ever, but he was one of our best friends ever. Like just growing up, getting to know him, just knowing everything about him. Been through so many just events together, been through many just heartbreaks, so many wins together, just been through a lot with Justin, a lot. So, it definitely wasn't easy. It was definitely hard. But it's like, it was like one of those team changes where it's like, kind of like a leap of faith, I guess, or it's just like, if we don't do this, it's like, yeah, we could get better. But it's like, if we do this, like, who knows what could happen? Like, I don't know. It was just, it's not much there's not so many words I can put, just like, to say for how hard it was, It's just like one of those things where it just felt like the right move at that time.
Well, it turned out to be.
Yeah.
Because you guys ended up winning that year. But I want to talk a little bit more about Pistola, just because like we've had a lot of people come on. I was actually one of Pistola's first teammates back in like early Halo 3 days, and like,
oh my god,
I love the guy.
Yeah,
like we've asked this to like every guest that's teamed with him. Like, have you had a chance to be in touch with him since then, or like, because he's kind of been ghosting just about everyone?
Unfortunately, no, man. I mean, I've said this on stream, so I'll just say here, like I've texted him. I've gone on my way to text him like 3, 4, even 5. I've probably texted him like 5 times, and I've just gotten no response. So, I've seen him in Twitch chats though. I've seen him in Twitch chats, and I know he's still around. I've seen him in Snipedown stream. I've seen him around, but yeah, he's just kind of been MIA. To be honest, just been MIA.
Yeah, we definitely miss him.
Yes.
Let's talk about the end of that year. So you guys, with first event with Formal, Kansas City, you guys get 3rd. That was kind of a weird one for me watching. I felt like
I still remember that. I still remember it.
Formal was kind of OEing.
I still remember Matt had camo. He picked it up, popped the camo. It was tied. It was like 7-7, and he has sword. He's making this play call like that. He's about to go bat ledge and jump up bat ledge, and he makes a good play. It's like as soon as he's about to kill roll 2 and swipe and sword him, like as he's doing the animation to swing, he gets no scoped in the face. And then as I'm because he's calling that push because I'm going turbine to pipe door, and then as soon as he dies, the sword goes flying pipe door, and Snakebite picks it up, and then he runs into turbine and kills me. And then at that point, it's like, okay, it goes from a tie game to where we're about to literally 4-dead these guys to they have a full setup, they have snipe and sword, and it's like after that, I was just kind of like, we just lost the game after that.
Yeah, you literally couldn't push gold at that point in year 1.
Especially with the sword meta, it's like there's so much that there's only so much that you could do.
Like Mangler was still in the game then too, I believe, or wasn't G8 yet.
Yeah.
But you guys did go to the next event. I remember there was a long break between Kansas City and Orlando, if I remember right.
There's like a 4-month break.
It was crazy.
3 months, I think. It was so long. I actually remember that, yeah.
And you guys were dominating online scrims. Like, I want to say we cited like over 100 wins with like less than 10 losses or something in scrims between Kansas City and Orlando. And then you guys win Orlando, which was your first 4v4 LAN win.
Yeah.
And then like a month later was Worlds, and you guys won that too. I mean, talk to me about the feelings and emotions from your first like 4v4 LAN win, and then obviously winning the World Championship.
It was literally the greatest thing ever. I mean, I think I heard Brad talk about this on their stream not too long ago, but I think losing Kansas City in the way that we did was the best thing for our team. Because let's say, I don't know, let's say we win that, it's like who knows what happens in the next 2 tournaments. And I think us losing that the way we did, and for us talking about our loss and just having a long time to kind of marinate in that and just get better, and because we had like 3 months to get better, like a long time. So yeah, for us to do that and then go into Orlando and play flawlessly, it was amazing. I still remember I think we only dropped like 3 or 4 maps that whole tournament.
Yeah, it was dominant.
Yeah, we just took that momentum and then won Worlds. So I think it was, I don't know, it was amazing. And especially to do it at that time, being on Optic and just I remember at that time, just even Orlando and Worlds, like so many people at the venue. Like there's like the crowds were insane.
Green wall behind you.
Yeah, Green Wall, my family. Orlando was actually the first tournament my parents had ever come to, so to win that in front of them
Wow,
Oh,
dude.
wow.
was awesome.
The
Yeah, that was
first
awesome.
one they went
Yeah,
to,
first
you
time that
won?
everyone went to. Yeah, first one.
That's amazing. You got to tell them to come to every event now. Like what?
I know, right?
You had been competing for years, and in a span of 1 month, you get your first ever LAN win.
Yep.
Oh, and the bookend of it is a world championship. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just insane. And it seems like an overnight success story, but
Not even close.
yeah, you would know it was not even close. So that's incredible, man. Let me ask, when the King of the Hill on Streets wrapped up, were you still on the sticks? Did you think the game had ended? Did you pop
Oh,
off
God.
a little bit? Like, talk us through that.
I for sure thought we won because it's like it's one of those things where it's like you see 0, 0, 0, 0, and you're like, oh, like we won. But then sometimes
Yeah.
randomly in King of the Hill, it's like you get in at 0, 0, 0, 0. I don't know. It's like it's a weird thing, and then you just like get in, and then like, oh, they're in it. Like, oh my God, it was Tommy. Shout out Tommy for saying it. He's like, yo guys, we're not done. We're not done. We're not done. Because
It's a good Tommy impression.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was like 2 celebrations, I guess, of like,
Yeah.
oh, we won, and then we're like, oh, like we didn't win,
The first pop off, the fake one, and then the real one.
and then the real one. So yeah, that was funny.
Optic had no idea, we had no idea. And in the end, now we can say that Optic Gaming are your Halo World Champions.
So moving along, in 2023, you guys would stick together, but only found one LAN win that year. It's kind of what kicked off the second place curse for Optic Gaming. You guys would fall short against FaZe in the grand finals at Worlds. Now, if I've gathered anything from talking to you over the last however long it's been, it's that you don't forget the L's. You use them as a motivating factor. I got to say, Joey, this is probably the one that sticks in your head the hardest, right?
Oh yeah, I just remember us being up 2-0, and we're going to a CTF Aquarius game 3. When you're up 2-0, like we're in such a good pace. Like we're in such a good place. Like we're literally up 2-0.
Winner's token.
Winner's token. Like we're right there. We've kind of fell into the trap of like worrying about their game a little too much. That's something that still sticks with me to this day. It's like I still remember it perfectly. We were so worried about FaZe like OEing, like pink side on us. We were always worried about them OEing. That's good to know, but it's like on the other side, it's like we just need to focus on our gameplay. Like I don't care what the other games. I don't care what the other team's doing. Like we're up 2-0. Like I don't care. We got caught in like a cycle of just like worrying about what they're doing when like we just need to worry about what we're doing. And that still sticks with me to this day because it's like I still remember the pre-game comms we had, or like this talking about the map or whatever going into that game 3. And I remember thinking about that too. Because that's some of the stuff we were talking about pre going into that game 3. And it was just really unfortunate. We were so close. Like it was just right there. And we even that whole series, I know we lost the next 4 games, but like we really lost 2-1 in that flag. And then we go to the hill, we lose 2-1 again. It's like such small like L's that just keep adding up and keep adding up.
I think the only like blowout in that was like the Solitude Strongholds, which
Oh
is
yeah.
probably one of the most unbalanced game modes anyways. It's like if you start spawning blue.
That was game 1 of the reset though, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
game 1 of the reset. And we lost like 250-5. I remember. Then we lost 50-49 game 2. Like, oh my god.
You guys, after FaZe picked up some momentum, I remember took a really, really long break between matches. Did you guys leave the venue at that time?
We did. We walked out.
What?
We walked outside because Matt and Brad wanted to go smoke a cig. Whatever, that's fine. But like to walk, like
Standard.
it's one thing walking outside, that's fine. But it's like it's another thing walking past the crowd and going outside and just having them even look at you and like you're walking.
Oh yeah,
this
that's
is
weird.
deep. You're walking deep. Like you're walking far to go outside.
Yeah, it was a trek. It was a long walk.
It was an actual track. It's a mile long. It was far.
What was the conversation like in that moment? Was who took the reins, and what was the attempt to kind of like calm things down and regain momentum?
Oh my god. I mean, I feel like it was a little bit of everyone, especially Jason. Jason's just trying to like pinpoint our mistakes and just trying to get us to calm down and relax, and just like a lot of Tommy, like 'cause Tommy, Tommy loves to explain his thoughts a lot, which is not bad. And then Brad, Matt's just sitting there smoking a cig. I remember. That's pretty much it. I mean, just pretty much talking about like what we could be doing better, and just talking about the game types, and just talking about overall just general picture, general things. Because you can't nitpick in a grand final. Like that's just not going to work. It's just mainly general, just fundamental things.
I think FaZe just had too much momentum. That team, when they got rolling, were really hard to slow down.
I mean, they pretty much beat us after the first series. Like we should not be like losing that first series, especially going up 2-0 like that.
And having an advantage in game 3, I even remember.
Yes,
But
yeah, we were up. I remember we were dominating them game 3. Like,
Yeah.
we actually were, but I still remember it, and I regret not saying anything about it. Yeah, we were just so focused on what they were doing. We're literally up 2-0. Like they should be focusing on us. You know what I mean? Like we should not be focusing on the other team.
You be conscious.
Yeah, you need to be conscious of it, and then like you got to know that, but like, we can't be OD like worried about that.
Over-focused on it.
Over-focused.
Yeah.
Like that's not. You can't do that. And that's something that I regret not saying a lot, because I did say it, but I didn't really harp on it like that much. It definitely got the better of us.
After a disappointing loss in the Grand Finals 2023, we go into off season, and it felt like something was going to change, and it did. You guys drop APG and pick up Zane, a familiar teammate from the past that you started off playing with in Halo 3, teamed with numerous times. Can you recall what this time was like? Did you feel like your ceiling with Zane would end up being higher than it was with APG?
Yeah. I mean, I can go into even more juicier stuff if you guys want me to.
Sure. Yeah.
hell yeah,
all
brother.
means.
So, I mean, it's already past that time. I don't think it matters anymore. It's so pretty much after that season had ended, just like disappointing from going up 2-0 to thinking we're literally about to just win back-to-back rings to then getting 8-0'd was just like not good for, team morale, and just not what we wanted, After that, we pretty much all talked, and we all were scheming and just trying to figure out like what we wanted to do. And then we actually had talks about picking up Stellar. We were literally in Discord with him. We were talking with him, hanging out with him, and he was down. He was actually down to team with us, and that was going to be the team at that time after the event. His formal was talking to him, like I was talking to him, and that was going to be the team. But then once SSG and Optic start talking, it's one of those things where it's like they're not going to let Stellar go. They're talking about on the backside, and it's taking a while, and whatnot. Like it was like a week long of figuring out what to do, blah blah blah. They come back to us and tell us like no, like he's not available. And then right when that happens, we all get in a call, we're all talking, and then our instant thought was like trying to pick up Legend. That's what we were gonna do. We were gonna do after that.
Wow.
And then we ended up DMing Legend. We talked to him. We're like, yo, like, do you want to join us? Blah blah blah. And then he writes back at us. He's like, bro. He's like, I just signed a contract, man. And he was like, and I was like, and he wouldn't tell us who it was for, but we were like, okay.
So he was still on Quadrant at this time.
He was, but he
This
had
was
just signed a
his-
contract with a new team, which
Which would be SSG.
yes, but that whole time, SSG and Optic were in talks. They were trying to sign Legend because they knew if they were to tell no to us, that we were going to go after Legend. That's what they knew that.
So they were stalling.
They were stalling. Yes, they were. No, 100% they were. They were stalling
Oh my
the
god.
whole time to sign Legend. And for the record, I ended up DMing Legend and asking. I was like, "Bro, would have you joined us?" And he was like, "Yeah, I would have joined you guys."
Wow.
But yeah, that was like the backstory.
Did it ever start to like wear on that team of 4 mentally after so many second place finishes in a row? And was that part of the thought process in making something's got to change? And did you feel like by replacing a 4th, it would kind of take some of that mental weight off your shoulders?
You're talking about like when we replaced Brad,
Yeah.
APG? Yeah, definitely. I just think honestly it's just the way that we lost Worlds. I think that was like the biggest thing. We go from like thinking we're literally about to win. It's like, I remember us being backstage, like we were up 2-0. I remember we all took a break and we're walking backstage, and you can just like feel it, like it's just like a feeling that you have. To then again just like losing and then the way that we did, and then walking back and just like walking back sucked because there's a bunch of fans, and it's just like has nothing to do with you guys. It's just like the way that we lost. It's just like, well,
Yeah.
it just sucked. It honestly just sucked. So yeah, I just think getting kind of like a fresh restart after that tournament is something that we wanted to do. And obviously, I think we there was a lot of people, like literally a lot of great Halo players to choose from. And yeah, so we like, I think after all that shenanigans happened, I think we all talked about it, and then we ended up picking up Zane, like literally. And I think Zane knew about all this stuff too. We told him.
Were you a big driver in that conversation? Like, guys, I've teamed with him before. Like, this dude's insane.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he had already started that run of never placing outside of top 3. So I imagine he was on the minds of most of your teammates. But would you consider yourself a big driver?
I think I was the one. Yeah, I was definitely the driver. I was definitely the driver in picking up Zane. Because Matt didn't really know, like he didn't know Zane at all. Matt didn't really had any say in that. Tommy knew Zane from Halo 5 and from even through the Halo 3 MCC, just hanging out, just being friends and teaming in that era too. So he knew him. But I would definitely say it was like me and Tommy had talked about that a lot, picking up Zane. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
Matt was just down. Matt trusted us at that time.
Yep.
He just trusted us.
Speaking on Zane's, I mean, still to this day, the only player in Halo Infinite to not place outside of the top 3 in a single Halo Infinite event, which is just a crazy stat.
He's the only player still, right, to this day?
He's been for a full year.
Lowest average placing in the entire game.
That is insane.
Speaking on that, and this is actually a question that ties in with one of our Patreon questions. So I'll say this one a little bit early. This is from the Dead Display. He says, can you explain why Zane is so slept on?
Zane, the way he plays Halo and the way he thinks about Halo is a lot about how I think about Halo too. And it's just like a really efficient, like quick, like 2 dead, like you're running to their side, pulling a flag. 2 dead, you're running for the oddball and rotating toward your spawners, like just playing for the win and playing super, super efficient. And when you're playing that style of Halo, like you're not going to be like getting your shields and like playing for a kill. You're not going to be like hitting timings when you get like numbers, It's like one of those styles of play where like you're very efficient. When you're very efficient, it's not going to show in the stat sheet a lot, I feel like. Not to mention his communication. I think Zane has been consistent his whole career because he has very underrated communication. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about his communication at all. In years that I've seen him play Halo, and it's just very cool. It's calm and it's very decisive, and it's like everything that he's calling out. It's like exactly what he's saying and what's happening on the map. And I feel like that's a very rare trait to have in a Halo player.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of players they go back and forth between like only saying locations of enemies, and then like they forget to small talk, almost like a bad habit like creeps back in. But then there's other players that will like consistently small talk in every situation, and I feel like that's what Penguin does. Like he's like,
oh yeah,
like there's not IGLs in Halo. Like we've kind of established that. Like everybody needs to be able to IGL from like their specific vantage point and the information that they specifically have.
Yeah.
But like I feel like he's one of the best at that. Is like with the information that he sees and the information that his teammates have given him, he can quickly assess the scenario and be like, yo, let's hit out cuts here or whatever the play is, right?
Very good at like telling teammates what to do and like just being that like literally like you said, like he sees something, he'll tell someone what to do and like he does it quick and it's like right then and there. Like very, very efficient. And it's like he's been that way. Like, I swear, he's been that way his whole career. Like, even early Halo 5, he's been that way. And he's only gotten better. And it's just something that, yeah, it's honestly insane.
I feel like it's made you more comfortable playing with him as well, specifically. Like, I don't know. So we're shifting, obviously into this year. We're going to skip past last year where you guys get second every event, which is like, honestly, by all things considered, an amazing year. I mean, getting to the grand finals at every single event is like, and like right now, it probably doesn't feel good, but like 10 years from now, when you look at your resume and you'd be like, wow, I made it to the grand finals every single tournament in the same year. Like that's no small feat, but I know someone like you is not happy with it because you want to win, but you go into this year in this new FaZe lineup, and I feel like you specifically have been like way more unlocked with that roster that you guys played the last two events with Falcated and Suppressed. I don't know if you're even aware of this, but according to HCS fantasy stats, you're number one fantasy the last two lands in a row. So like you had, I think, a 536 in Arlington and a 560, which if I'm not mistaken is the highest fantasy stats ever. Which is an aggregate of your kill death ratio, your damage efficiency, your objective ratings. He has a stat called Scars, which is like a accumulation of all the different flag stats. And you're like top 3 in almost every category for DreamHack. What do you think it is about that roster? And obviously it's about to change, but like, did something change in the off season? Did you feel like maybe after getting dropped from Optic, there's like a new fire lit under you? Like what's been going on?
It's a culmination of things. I think this year has been the first year in a very, very long time. Like I've always had my IGL moments on like my old teams when we were winning. But I feel like this year it's like I've really been like especially Zane. Zane's been my co-host on that of just being put in like the driver's seat of just actually IGLing and just being the leader, which I feel like before I wasn't really
like with Tommy on the team. It's hard to be the leader because he's very vocal, right?
And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just more so I've been in that role now, and I'm also not like I'm still doing a lot of objective like as much as I used to, but I feel like it's definitely not as much as I used to. So it's like I'm kind of sitting back, I'm seeing it from a third person view, and I don't know, I'm finally being able to like shot call a lot of plays, which I feel like I haven't been in the past, and it's like definitely changed my style of play, and just the way I'm treating Halo recently. Yeah, I think it's just definitely an entire change of pace for me, and it's honestly been amazing. I can't even lie. Being able to just kind of like shot call everything and just be the IGL, and again, Zane's doing it right with me too. So
it's been amazing to watch as well.
Yeah, it's been really, really, really cool.
It makes me think about like you were recounting a regret that you didn't say in the grand finals of that Worlds that you guys lost, and it's like. If you were on this lineup, I feel like you would have said it, but like, I think in the situation with Tommy on your team, you don't feel like it's your voice or your place to make a call like that in the moment. But now that you're kind of like unlocked and you're like, these people will trust what I say, and what I say is good instincts because I've been there, done that. Like I kind of know what I'm talking about, and just having that confidence and trust, like it's a different feeling. So, we're going to get into the new roster. I'm curious, like, once Tommy is back alongside you, like, are you going to have a conversation like, listen, I've been unlocked with my voice being heard more. Like, trust me to be that guy now? Or are you still going to default to Tommy, you think?
The last 2 times Tommy's left me, I've beaten him at the next LAN.
Okay.
So, I don't know. That's a stat that no one knows, by the way.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tommy, I forgot to ask this. It was like a foregone conclusion, and almost even rumored and potentially confirmed that you and Tommy were going to be going into season 4 as teammates.
Oh,
but you were rivals in season 1, and then eventually got back on the same page. What happened? What happened in the offseason that allowed you guys to not team?
Last year, after 2023, we went into the offseason, and we were talking about. We pretty much came to the conclusion that we wanted to stick with each other. And then we talked about potential teammates, and we came to the conclusion that we wanted a team with Last Shot Cycle. And we ended up getting in contact with Shopify. They were insanely shocked that we reached out to them. And we pretty much we literally talked to Cycle that day. We talked to Last Shot, and we told them that's like what we wanted to do. And that originally was going to be the team going into this year.
Wow.
It was going to be me, Tommy, Last Shot, and Cycle. And then all of that fell apart when Tommy accepted the offer to go to SSG. So that originally what was going to happen. And then, yeah, I mean, he just took the offer.
Probably wanted to get right to work.
Yeah, exactly. And I get it too. They just got done winning 4 tournaments, like picking up Snakebite. He's never teamed with Snakebite. And honestly, after the year that I had a pretty rough year last year. I understood why he did do that.
I think it made more sense at the time, but now he probably regrets it.
Yeah, at the time. Yeah. And then they went with obviously Roll 2 Frosty, who's been a duo. They've been teaming together for forever. Who knows how long? 10 plus years. So that's kind of like what happened. That was like our off-season drama, if you will.
So you split, and then how did you end up with Falcated and Suppress?
So after I got news that they were going with World 2 Frosty, I wasn't shocked. I mean, low-key I was a little bit, but then I wasn't at the same time. I was like, yeah, they're a duo. Like, I get that. Once I got that news, it was more so like just seeing who was available, I guess, because we were kind of like outside of the top 3 teams at that point, or on paper, if you will. And then that's when I hit up Zane. That's when I hit up Suppress messaged me low-key on the side. But then it was kind of like I talked to Zane and we talked, and he wanted a team with Suppressed, and then we kind of formed that, and then Suppressed really wanted a team with Falcated, and that's kind of like how all that started. So
the 2 Slayers wanted a tag team. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty much
Very
how
cool.
that started.
I feel like people are gonna love this episode because it's been the most revealing towards like the like behind the scenes of Roster Mania.
I've said that a lot to my chat, and I'm just like, once I retire, I'm saying everything. I'm saying all the stories, all the drama. One day I will. One day I will.
Well, you definitely shared some tea with us today.
Oh,
which
yeah.
We definitely appreciate it. And I know the community will as well. So appreciate you being so forthcoming. It always seemed like you and SSG were destined to make a trade, whether it was 1 for 1 or 2 for 2. It just always felt like that because Optic and Rebellion were arguably at another tier compared to you guys. But we always felt like if there was one thing that would prevent the trade from happening, it was if one team placed poorly and the other got to a grand finals or even placed top 3.
Yeah.
Despite that, you guys getting to the grand finals, SSG getting top 8, Eli and I talked about this that weekend. That might be a block to you guys ultimately changing squads. What was the deciding factor in making that decision, despite all things considered a great event?
Yeah, I just think for us, like right now, the team to beat is Optic, right? And it's like we did get second, and I think we're honestly, even for our practice going into that event, like second was insane that we got second because our practice prior to the event was terrible. I had a few crash outs that I'd never had in my life, like ever, for the way we were practicing and just our overall effort levels. So the fact that we got second was crazy. And again, I think when we go to LAN, we just try harder and we play much better. So that was good. But overall, I think at the end of the day, it's like it still comes with the fact that like Optic is the team to beat. They just went back to back, and it's like second is great, but they beat us 8-1. And I know the second series of that finals was definitely winnable. Like we literally could have won 4 or 5 games, I swear. Like especially in that second best of 7 each. So many games were so close when we lost. But yeah, same thing. It's just like they 8-1'd us. They are back-to-back champions, and I think the only team to beat right now is Optic. So I think that's kind of like was the overall driving force in the decision of like wanting to make a trade.
Probably one of the reasons you're most excited about rejoining up with Tommy Lucid is because of that practice level, right? Like a lot of the fans and spectators only see the tournament gameplay, but as you know, winning a tournament, it's all the work is done beforehand. Now with Tommy back, do you feel like that effort level and just the energy is going to be at a higher level and a higher stakes for you guys?
Oh yeah, for sure. We always had that mentality is just like practice how you play, right? Like literally matchmaking, whatever it is, like you're practicing to get on, like don't waste time. Like you got to just be going hard every single time. And I mean, if you watch Tommy stream, like That guy,
Yep.
you know how Tommy is. Like, he just hates losing, and he's been that way his whole career. So it's like,
Yep.
that definitely bleeds in. And when everyone's going hard and everyone's trying really, really, really hard, it's like it's only going to produce good results for you. And just going hard and trying to get better every day. And I just think having Tommy on board with me again on that, and then obviously with the other two players, it's gonna be awesome.
I was about to say Penguin's effort level. He's playing big team battle this week, and he's like he's like grand finals mode, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I love that.
Dame's streaming a lot. Like, he's pumped.
Seen you and PJ play matchmaking a lot, right?
Never teamed with Snakebite before, so I'm very, very excited because I don't know, just like the way he thinks about Halo is literally like the way I think about Halo, and it's just really efficient. Like, just do like 2 dead, like pull the flag. Like, doesn't matter if you die, just pull the flag. Like, being really efficient and just like not dying when you don't need to, and just like not having to tell teammates to do things, and just like they're thinking what I'm thinking, and it's like I haven't had that in a long time. And I'm very, very excited. I think like we're gonna be really, really good.
When I saw the roster, I was like, dude, this feels like Trippy's dream team. Like, this was like your OG duo with Lucid. Penguin became your duo like Halo 3 era, and then Snakebite. You said you never teamed with him. I thought you guys did team briefly in like Halo 3 era as well, didn't you?
Briefly, like the Halo 5 tournaments or whatever.
Or Halo 5 tournaments.
Yeah, we did.
You all highlight efficiency as like your cornerstone of your gameplay. So like, are you guys just going to be the most efficient team? That's kind of what it feels like.
I really do think once we get practicing and get going and really figure out how we want to play, I do think we're going to be insanely efficient. I really do think we are. Like, I really do. I can't wait to start playing. I actually can't wait.
All right, it's time for the Patreon segment where we take questions from our Patreon members. Remember, guys, you guys can directly support the show and the recollection of Halo history by supporting the Tide the Leader podcast on Patreon. We put a ton of time and effort into these episodes. Kills in the Night, especially our producer and editor, takes weeks sometimes to put footage and kind of piece it all together. So if you guys would like to support the effort and energy we put into competitive Halo, make sure you check out the Patreon. Without further ado, let's get right to the first question. This one is from Dead Display, again, who is our first Patreon member. So he gets a little preferential treatment. We always look for his questions in the Patreon. He says, after leaving Optic and then becoming the captain of FaZe, do you feel that your role and responsibilities in-game have changed? You touched on this a little bit earlier, just with how much more vocal you've become.
Yeah, I really don't think I looked at myself as the captain. I just think more so it's just like, I definitely think, I guess you could say that. I just think, yeah, more so being in the driving force of just like how I see the game and how I want my teammates to play the game. And I think having a teammate like Zane who thinks the same exact way definitely helps in that way too. So just being able to freely speak my mind, even LAN series, whatever it may be, just having that voice where everything that I'm thinking, I can just say it. I think that's definitely helped a lot. Not only in my gameplay, because sometimes even when I'm just spewing out things, I'm just spewing out things for my own personal self, right? But obviously things that we can all take into consideration, but a lot of times it's just for myself to remind myself and for the team. Yeah, it's been amazing, honestly.
Relax and Love, that's a very romantic username, says, what are your thoughts about low scoring and arduous game modes in competitive, such as Fortress Bomb, Argyle Flag, routinely low scoring affairs?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a really big fan of the King of the Hill settings at the moment. I think the old King of the Hill settings, when it would rotate every 45 seconds or a minute or whatever it was, I felt like that was so much more fun. Kind of like going around and having to rotate, because I feel like with this new meta, especially with the Bandit 2, it happened a lot during the end of the BR meta too, but I feel like there's just too many hills ending 2-1, and that is just like so boring to me. Just like getting your kills and like playing slow, and then teams are barely getting time because they just want to reslay again. It's just like so boring to me sometimes. So I don't know. I think rotating hills would be a lot quicker and faster, and just having to rotate. It just be constant moving around and like setting up more action.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion. I don't know.
You strike me as a construct king enjoyer from Halo 3.
Yes and no.
Whereas like the sniper hill and then close street and then open street, or no, it would rotate through snipe. Yeah. Or I guess what were some of your favorite like King of the Hill modes? I guess in former Halos.
Probably that one. I didn't play too much of it back then. Honestly, I was
Okay.
too young to play a lot of the King of the Hill game types.
Fair enough.
Because Halo Reach, I didn't really play Reach. I know they had King of the Hill in that game. And then Halo 4, I didn't play Halo 4. Halo 5 had Strongholds, but it didn't have King of the Hill.
Okay.
So this is like the
But you
first time
feel
I've actually
like
experienced it like in this way.
Logically, you would prefer the old way. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it makes sense even from like the HCS would probably hear you out on this, Joe, and think like,
Mhm.
yeah, you know, because from a viewership standpoint, it feels like a lot of teams, the meta is to just milk for time, especially if you're up by a certain amount. If you're up by 2 scores with 60 seconds left, you're not playing objective anymore.
Yeah,
you're
you're
playing
not.
Team Slayer.
Exactly. And it's just more so, even for the first hill, right? It's, let's say both teams are scrapping it out and each team gets like 70, 80% capped. And then, well, what if it rotates? It's like, okay, then whoever's rotated and ready for that is like going to get the point. And I just think if you're always on your toes and you're always rotating and you're always thinking a step ahead and like trying to be efficient, get time, like, I don't know. I just think King of the Hill that way is so much more fun rather than.
It's like a hard point in Call of Duty.
Exactly.
Like it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say this was a great conversation about that, but I also think we completely missed Relax and Love's question because they were asking about low scoring and arduous game modes, specifically like Fortress Bomb and Argyle Flag. So more like low scoring.
Wait, didn't I say that?
Well, you did say that, but like we ended up talking about King of the Hill, which was like not necessarily in the same vein.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so 2-1 King of the Hill is not a fan of. Fortress Bomb, I'm just constantly getting spawn killed there on that map, so I don't like that for that reason. I play
Fair enough.
Shopify. I'm probably like a neg 100 and against Shopify in that game type.
They're so good at
like
it. It's
in the
crazy.
span of like 3-4 games that I played against them.
Yeah.
I'm just getting spawn killed on repeat, so I don't like it for that reason because I'm just getting dominated on it. But yeah, it is annoying when you're losing 1-0 and just getting spawn killed. That's definitely not fun.
I also think when we had this conversation on the broadcasts with Onset and Bravo, but like the cheese of being up 1-0 or 2-0 and just like holding the bomb somewhere so the other team doesn't know where it is,
yes,
or like
just on your side, like your
waiting.
elbow, like you're hiding, waiting, like.
And like
what do you
throwing
do
it off the
against
map.
that, right? And then it respawns
It's-
again. Like,
It's so
not
cheesy.
only do you have to run from your side across the map to kill that guy, but it's like, yeah, then he just drops the bomb, and then you have to reslay again because it's respawning up again, and it's like, yeah.
It's like I guess there's a strategy and a meta to it, but it's not a fun strategy or meta. So
No.
yeah,
No, definitely
I'm
not.
not a fan.
I didn't really mind Argyle, to be honest.
I liked it too.
I know a lot. It would go 1-0 sometimes, but I feel like those were like really. I don't know. I feel like it was just back and forth. Like when it was tied like that, it was
sniping?
back and forth all the time.
I feel like we saw some of the sickest snipes too.
Yeah. And it always felt like it was a game of runs in the final 3 minutes. It's like, all right, you know, it's going to be a 12-minute match, but these last 3 minutes are going to be crazy. You might see 3
Crazy.
caps.
I kind of felt the same way on Catalyst too. I know we only had it for a short amount of
Catalyst,
time.
man.
But I
Agreed.
really do like Catalyst Flag. It's symmetrical.
Yep.
Playing for overshield bottom middle. You can get a grapple. I don't know. I just felt like that game type and just the map itself, we only played it for a little bit. We didn't play it for that long.
1 or 2 events, that was it.
If it just had the skewer and never had a sword on it, like
So
might
much
have
better.
been.
I
Amazing.
like the skewer on that map. I can't even lie.
Yeah, the skewer was
I-
actually
I-
sick.
It actually was
Skewer was
hard to
so
hit
much fun.
shots. Like you had to really line up. You only get 3 shots, so it's like not crazy, or 2 shots or whatever it was. I don't know. I forgot, but yeah. I mean, I didn't think it was OP. It took a long time to reload. I don't know. I like that map. I did like that map.
I agree.
So.
Michael Walker wants to know, how do you feel Snakebite will fit in versus your former teammate Formal?
I think he will fit in a way of just like, because I feel like with Matt, it's like, I don't want to say it was always 0 to 100 with Matt, where like he's just shooting everybody. Like he's one of the best, if not the best damage dealer in the HCS. Like there's no doubt about that.
Yep.
But it's just more so knowing when you need to not do damage and knowing when to play your shields and knowing when to use a little more teamwork, which not saying Matt doesn't know how to do that because he does. But it's just more so I think PJ's constantly thinking that way and not thinking about like having to just rip the first guy he sees or just chow the first guy he sees, which both are good ways of playing Halo, depending on how you're playing and if you're hot or if like you're not missing. Like a lot of those cater into the way people play. With PJ in our team, it's going to be like, I feel like we're going to be very, very like teamwork oriented heavily, and like I said, we're gonna be very efficient. Just overall, even like when I was playing with matchmaking with PJ, like his communication is so freaking good. Like I didn't
It's
realize it
insane.
until like actually playing with him. I always knew it was good at Snakebite. He's won a billion tournaments and 3 world championships. Like he's obviously a great player, but until you actually play with him, it's like okay, like imagining this in a team environment. A lot of what we think about is like how he thinks. So it's like putting that all together and just thinking about practicing and just seeing how we fit in. I just think it's gonna be very, very good.
I think you guys will have a incredible practice environment. Like everybody's has humility and is willing to take feedback, but also has like good feedback to give. There's not going to be any time wasted, I can't imagine, with this group.
Yeah. Mhm.
You guys are all going to be hungry to work hard as fuck and just like make it happen. And maybe this is just me from the outside looking in. Like I'm not on the sticks with you guys or in the fucking war zone, but I see Snakebite as like, he will fill in as the player that the team needs. Like I feel like he has like a sixth sense of like how he needs to play to make the team as efficient as possible or as optimal as possible. And it's like he can be the guy that runs people down and just turrets on the map, or he can be the guy that like just tells you guys what to do and makes openings and like runs a flag. I don't know. He
was literally saying that to me when we were talking about it and picking him up. It was like he doesn't care. He literally doesn't care about play styles, like playing slow, fast. Like he literally says like he will do whatever it takes to win. And it's like hearing that, it's like it's amazing coming from him, you know.
Because he's not lying.
He's not lying. Yeah,
that man's been winning for a long time.
Yeah. So yeah, he can do it all. He can play fast. He can play slow. Communication's amazing. He can play objective. Like he can literally do anything that you need him to do. So I think we're gonna be very, very good.
Alex Shifter wants to know, what's the best San Diego taco spot?
Ooh.
You'll find it near the Bay Bridge in Chicano Park.
So when I'd go into San Diego, there's a place called Los Cuatros Milpas. It's like a local like Mexican spot there, and it's like when it opens up, there's literally a line out the door. It's that very good. I used to go there all the time with my family when we were in San Diego. And yeah, that's probably my number one. Like in terms of just overall authentic, like when you walk in, like they're making everything in front of you. You just get a tray, you just order what you want. Like that's one of my favorite spots.
Natividad makes sure the tortillas are handmade, not just on the premises, but right in the dining room.
There's got to be like 20 plus like god tier taco spots in San Diego, right? Like
yeah, you really can't go wrong. I actually just had tacos today at literally a local spot next to me, El Porto. Like there's just so many good spots. You just can't go wrong. I swear. It's so good.
If there's a line, you know it's good. It might suck to wait, but it's going to be good when it gets to the table. Speaking of foods, to wrap up our Patreon section, Caleb Yoder 1311 wants to know what your favorite snack is, but rather than just have you answer this, we're trying to make some content here. So we made a tier list. If Kills wants to pull that up, and Joey, we're gonna have you film.
I'm ready.
Thought we were gonna. The tier list of the Halo Infinite maps. No, this is a tier list of your favorite snacks. All right, take a look at your options.
Okay, the Doritos Cool Ranch. I'm gonna go. Oh man, I'm gonna go B there. I'll start with B. Those hot fries. Honestly, C. I've never really had those before.
Quick story about the hot fries. They're amazing. It was like my gas station go-to. This was a couple days before HCS Kansas City. And I ate an entire bag of hot fries and woke up and I could not even walk.
What?
Dude, I didn't. Do you not remember? I didn't get to Kansas City until like the day before the event because I was there for the KCP boot camp, but I wasn't there for like the setup day or even day one because I was in the hospital. These things literally put me in the hospital, and I got diagnosed. I swear to God, got diagnosed.
Oh, I remember that now. Yeah.
Got diagnosed with diverticulitis. Just to lift my left leg up to take a step forward would put me in excruciating pain. But you know what? I still made it to that event. I was told not to go or hop on a plane because of the stress levels, but I'd do anything to make it out to an event. So yeah, I can respect the C tier. Very good flavor, maybe even A or B. But the fact that they gave Or maybe give you diverticulitis. Yeah, that makes it, I don't know, maybe even in the D for diverticulitis. But
You can throw them in D. I've never really had them like that. It's okay.
okay,
Throw
there
'em
you
in
go.
D. There you go.
Don't eat a whole bag is the moral of the story.
Beef jerky. I love beef jerky. I love Jack Links, but I think it's way too salty for me. So I'm gonna go C.
Agree.
I think it's a great taste, but if you have a lot of it at once, it's just your mouth. You feel like you need to drink like 8 million gallons of water. It's too much salt.
Agree.
Blue Diamond almonds. I'm gonna go C. I don't really eat like Blue Diamond almonds like that. I'm not gonna lie. Cheetos.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw a B tier. I think Cheetos are very good. I think the jalapeno cheddar are the best. Bugles.
Yes.
I'm going. Ooh. Bugles are good, but they're just like. Are they better than Doritos or Cheetos?
I feel like
Ooh,
I
that's
rarely see
tough.
Bugles anymore.
I don't really see them. I'm gonna go C. Bugles. I think they're great taste, but I don't really eat them like that anymore. What are those?
There's seaweed snacks, so it's
Oh, let's go. We're going D. We're going D. We're going D.
I love seaweed snacks.
They're good.
Cheez-Its. Oh, you already know where those are going. Let's go to an S. Those
Let's
are going to an
go.
S.
The reason for the tier list.
Ooh, corn nuts are actually really good. I'm gonna go a B on corn nuts. I'm gonna go B. I think growing up in high school, those would always just be. If you had a kid if you knew someone who had those, you'd always want some. You'd just put your hand out. So good. Fritos. Oh, that's A. That's A tier. Those are for sure A. Those are some of the best Fritos. Same Funyuns, yes, A. I think Funyuns are great. Goldfish, S tier. Some of my favorite snacks ever.
Classic.
M&Ms. I'm gonna go B. I think M&Ms are good. I think the peanut butter ones are the best though, low key.
Oh, facts.
time.
Tocino pizza rolls. I never really had these growing up. I can't even lie. I don't think they're bad, but I never really had them growing up. I'm gonna go C. I'm gonna go C on Tocino's pizza rolls.
It's gonna piss a lot of people off that are watching this. I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, this
that.
is an MLT
Lay's-
crowd you're talking to.
I know, right? Lay's, I'm gonna go B. I think Lay's are good, but it's just very generic potato chip. Not bad at all. I think it's a very great taste. Pretzels. Ooh, pretzels are good. I just don't eat them. I think it's like they're really good for like dieting. I think they're really good. Honestly, they can put them in B.
They're grilled squid snacks.
Throw it in D. Throw it in D. I've no
Hey,
idea. Grilled squid. That's not something I would eat. Pringles S tier. I love Pringles. Great beach snack. Great, just putting them anywhere. A great snack. Shrimp chips. I've never ate those before. I'm not gonna lie.
I haven't either, but I was in a call with my girlfriend. She's Korean, and I brought up this tier list idea and showed her the shrimp chips. She's like, "Oh my god, those are my favorite. Those are like
Oh,
the
God.
best things ever." So now I gotta try them.
No,
I kind of want to try them.
I have to go C on these ones. I think they're probably better
Yeah.
than anything on D, but yeah, I'm gonna go C.
Fair enough.
Sunflower seeds. I don't eat some. Do you guys eat sunflower seeds? I don't really eat
Man,
those.
I haven't since I played baseball when I was like 11, bro.
Same.
I'm gonna go C on those. I'm gonna go C.
Yeah, I'm not big on
Swedish
those.
fish. Ooh, I'm gonna go A on Swedish fish. I think those are.
Yeah,
I think
mess
they're
with
pretty
that,
good. I think they're pretty good. Wasabi peas.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't know. I don't eat. I'm not a fan of wasabi. Not a peas I like, but I'm gonna go C. I'm gonna go C on those.
The last one is
Throw those on D.
Okay.
Throw wasabi in D's. Low key.
the last
What's the
one
last one?
is carne asada fries. We picked these because we know you're from San
God
Diego.
tier. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. A. Those are literally so good. Literally so good.
Fair enough. Okay. Now, real quick, I did want to add the caveat. I didn't get to say before we entered it, but in the context of while gaming, like eating snacks while gaming, do you change any of these? Like, you can't get the Cheeto dust on the controller. Like,
like in the context of gaming,
Yeah.
I can change a lot of these. Yeah.
Anything that leaves residue, I imagine.
Yeah, anything that leaves residue, it just like falls a lot. That's why goldfish are pretty easy to do. That's like
Yeah.
just like I was
It's hard
thinking
to
about
reach
it. You know, like
into
the
with a
milk
can of
carton,
Pringles.
the milk carton goldfish. I was thinking about doing that. You just open it up and just drink
Oh.
milk.
Oh,
Just
You're
drink it,
eating- you're just-
yeah.
No
you're just
hand
eating
contact.
Goldfish.
Mm.
Exactly.
Smart.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, a lot of these are you're screwed with your hands. You're not like airballing it.
Yeah,
you know?
Cheetos go immediately
Cheetos
to
go
D tier.
all the way down.
I'm pretty
Doritos
sure
go all the way down. Funyuns
Bugles
go all
would
the way down.
Definitely, because you
Swedish
would
fish, not
literally
really.
wear those on your
Yeah, you
finger
wear
as
them
a
on your
kid and eat
finger
them,
and eat
and you
them.
can't
Yeah,
game with
yeah.
that. So that's
Yeah,
a D.
you can't. Swedish fish, not really. That's just candy. It's nothing crazy.
Can wipe
Funyuns,
off
yeah.
the other
Doritos that would
stuff,
go
yeah.
down too. You just can't touch Doritos. Corn nuts you could just eat from the bag, so that's not bad. Same with M&M's. Same with pretzels are fine. Beef jerky's fine.
True.
Almonds are fine. Pizza rolls, unless you're eating with a fork, like your hands aren't going to get too crazy. But yeah, put those down. And then
Might burn them.
right, that's true. Other than that, no, it looks fine. I guess Cheez-Its and Pringle. I mean, those aren't too messy. I feel like or residue on your fingers. I don't really get residue from Pringles or Cheez-Its on my fingers.
The problem with Pringles for me is reaching into the can just doesn't
yeah,
feel
that's
realistic.
true. That's true.
Like mid-sesh.
That's true.
I don't know.
You can put those down too. That's fine. Yeah. There we go.
All right.
All right, well, there
Well,
you
That's
have
good.
it.
There we go.
The trippy snack tier list has been decided.
Love that. Hope you had fun with that, Caleb. And thanks everybody for your submissions to the Patreon section of the podcast. As we wind things down, we speed things up with the quick cues. Trippy, you can answer this in as little or as many words as you like, but they're more meant to be rapid fire. What are your settings?
Bumper jumper 177015003.
Who's on your Mount Rushmore of Halo?
Oh God. So 4 players.
Yep.
Ola, Ogre 2, Lethal. Oh my God. The 4th one is like it's hit or miss. It just depends on like it can be so many factors, but
Your new teammate, perhaps?
yeah, I mean it probably honestly with what we're gonna it's probably gonna be Snake by low key.
Definitely think that's fair.
I think those are pretty good. Yeah.
Probably the most balanced answer we've heard from any of the Halo pros in terms of
Eras.
giving props to the yesteryear, the OGs, and then including some modern guys as well, and even guys in the mix of both, kind of like a Pistola.
Oh yeah.
What's a Halo hot take that might have you roasted over the coals?
God, Halo hot take. Oh, I mean, Halo is way more popular with the battle rifle starts.
Wow.
Okay.
I think the game died when, or not died, but I feel like a lot of people enjoy battle rifle starts way more than bandits.
To play and to watch.
I think it's just more so the movement tech in this game.
Oh wow.
I think they created a gun that like midway through the season, and then I'm only saying that too because it's just like jiggle peeking and just like that was never a thing with the BR.
Yeah, you probably had more missed shots with the BR, especially maybe at close range. Like the bandit just feels like a 5 or 6 shot battle.
Yep,
always.
every time.
Whereas you
Every
might see
time.
a couple windmills or a 4, 5, 6 with the battle rifle. So I think that's a
Yeah.
fair hot take. Speaking of weaponry, throughout all of the Halos, what's been your favorite weapon to use?
Probably the sniper. Definitely the sniper rifle. I just think growing up and playing Halo 3, seeing people do backflips,
The
seeing
ragdoll
watching
physics.
montages and seeing people do backflips, like that's just like gave me so much dopamine. I'm just like, wow. Even if it's like a normal headshot, like I just love that. Like it's just so much fun.
So much dopamine.
Halo 3 sniper is not going to upset any Halo fans.
Yeah.
Who's been your favorite duo? If you could only team with one player for
Oh,
another run it
God.
back Red Bull Rise Till Dawn, who'd it be?
Oh, for 2v2s?
Favorite duo, but just imagine if you could only
That's
choose one and
so
you were
tough.
going into it too.
I have like so many favorite duos.
Yeah, I feel like you're the duo merchant, bro. You just pick them
Yeah.
up like they're Pokemon, bro. You're capturing them
No,
all.
yeah, I've had a lot of favorite duos. Obviously, I mean Tommy would be the easiest answer, but I mean I've been with Zane. I've been with, I honestly considered me and Brad a duo, APG, low key when we were teaming.
Now, we talked about some of your favorite teammates. Who's been your most heated rival?
Oh man, I can name a few players.
Let 'em rip.
I mean, it was always the Tox team. We always were rivals with them, especially going into this game. They hated us in Halo 5 because we were starting to get good, and even after we 3-0'd them at Orlando, that's when it like really started. Because we were starting to get really good. So it was always the Tox guys, and then, I mean, Renegade, Eco Stellar. Just like never wanted to lose those guys either. Beginning of this game when they were on Cloud9, to then, when that phase team formed. So pretty much any of the top dogs pretty much. People that
Yeah,
you just
I'll get you
know,
fired up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like no one wants to do this. It's all competitive, it's all, pretty much any of those players.
Yeah, that's really interesting that you've probably teamed with some of the most top Halo players, but when we asked who's your most heated rival, you probably gave us the most individual players. So I guess the moral of the story is when you make a lot of friends, you make some enemies too along the way in a competitive sense.
In a competitive sense. Yeah, exactly.
What's been your favorite Halo title?
Like playing even from all time?
Yeah, all time.
I mean, Halo 3 is my favorite Halo of all time.
I saw that
first
one coming.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's just more so the friends I made on it. That's the first Halo I actually got good at, and I thought I was really good for my age and just getting better. And then not to mention just everything about the game itself, just the ranking system, theater mode, like custom games, like it literally had everything in a game that came out in 2007. So it's like it had everything.
I actually found when I was, going through your YouTube, I found a video that you had made that was like my wish list for Halo Infinite before Halo Infinite came out, and you basically just listed all the features of Halo 3.
I did Halo 3 features plus Halo Reach's like the inheritor, like the EXP. Like I love what they did with like the progression system. I love that. So oh yeah, I remember that.
Something about the classics.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, what has been your fondest Halo memory as we wrap up the show?
Fondest Halo memory probably was probably winning Worlds, because I had my family there. I had my best friends that I went to middle school with. All 5 of my best friends, they all came and watched, and they all watched that too.
That's amazing.
All my best friends were there from back home. My mom and dad were there. Just everyone. I'm pretty sure my sister was there too. Yeah, literally everyone. So everyone was there to watch me win that. So that's something I'll never forget. Yeah.
Trippy, is there anywhere that the people can find you? What's your YouTube channel? What's your Twitch channel? Twitter? All that stuff.
Yeah. So my Twitch and my Twitter, you can find me it's just at TRIPPPEY. I'm pretty much on those socials all the time. Twitter all the time for gaming, and then Twitch just for when I'm streaming. So pretty much those main 2. And then you can find all my other links on my through my Twitch or through Twitter. So yeah, pretty much just those main 2.
Well, Joey, it has been a phenomenal trip down memory lane, witnessing firsthand through your eyes the path you've taken to become a Halo superstar. Before we wrap up the episode, any final words?
Thank you guys for having me on. I've been watching the podcast. I've watched Tommy's. I've watched a lot of your guys' episodes. So thank you guys for coming on, or letting me come on and just tell my story and just talk with you guys. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you guys.
No problem, man.
Shout out Halo fans for staying in the scene and keeping involved in all the game we all love. So yeah.
Yep, the community is the lifeblood of it all, and the friends you make
Really
along the
is.
way. Mine, my favorite duo is the guy right here below.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, you're going to make me blush, dude.
Yeah,
20
start crying
years.
now.
20 years, man. Met in a free-for-all lobby in 2025, in 2005, alongside Walshy, and it's been a phenomenal experience ever since. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Tide the Leader. Please make sure you subscribe to our new Tide the Leader channel. We used to be uploading videos to both Eli and myself's channel, and ever since we took the leap of faith and the risk to start a fresh channel, it's really paid off for us. We just reached monetization. We've got over 1,000 subs, over 1 billion watch hours. I don't know what the threshold was for that, but
Trillion.
it feels like it. A trillion watch hours. So thank you guys for consuming the content. If you enjoy, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and hey, send a friend this episode in a DM and tell them to check it out. It would really go a long way. And of course, if you want to take that next step, that next level to supporting Halo and the show, make sure to check us out on Patreon as well. For Eli the Ninja and our very special guest, Trippy, I'm Old Man Mikowski saying so long and good night. Thank you guys for tuning in to another incredible episode.
Got him. Live, you're going to get shot from out the middle. I'm getting ball. Bubble shield, go for bubble shield, is it up?
Yeah.
Grab it, throw it. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go, dude. That was so good, man.